Section 3.3 notes, solving equations with variables on both sides. To solve an equation with variables on both sides, the goal is to get the variable or the letter on one side and the constant or the number on the other. Then you use the inverse operations to solve. Remember, inverse operations are the inverse of addition is subtraction, the inverse of subtraction is addition, and so on and so forth. Let's look at some examples. Solve each equation. First, we look at if we need to do the distributive property. There are no parentheses, so we do not need to do that. Then we look at our little wall, which is the equal sign, and we look at both sides. On the left side, are there any terms you need to combine? There are not. There's a term with a variable, n, and then a constant. Then look at the right side of the wall or the equal sign. You have a variable with an n and another constant, so nothing needs to be combined just on that side. Now it's time to get the variable on the left. That means we want to get rid of the variable that's on the right, which is this positive 10n. The inverse operation of a positive 10n is to subtract 10n from both sides. That will cancel out the 10n. That then leaves 7n minus 10n. They're different signs, so you subtract. 10 minus 7 is 3n. And the 10 was the bigger number, so we keep the negative sign. Then we need to bring down everything. We have a minus 5, an equals, and the positive 13. Now we need to get the constants on the right, which means we need to get rid of this negative 5 or minus 5. The inverse operation of minus 5 is to add 5 to both sides. That cancels out the negative 5 or the minus 5 and leaves you with negative 3n equals, then you have a positive 13 and a positive 5. They're same signs, so you add and keep. 13 plus 5 is 18, and it will stay a positive. Now it's time to get the variable by itself. We need to get rid of this negative 3. So it is multiplying right now, and the inverse operation is to divide. And we want to make sure we take the whole negative 3, so we divide by negative 3. That cancels out the negative 3 and leaves just n. Then we have a positive divided by a negative, and that is a negative, and then 18 divided by 3 is 6. Your answer is n equals negative 6. Number 2, 5n minus 2 equals 3n plus 6. There's nothing to distribute because there are no parentheses, and you don't need to combine like terms on either side. So now we get the variable over to the left. We need to get rid of the 3n. So the opposite of a positive 3n is to subtract 3n on both sides. That cancels out the 3n, and we have 5n minus 3n. They're different signs, so you subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2n, and the 5 is bigger, so it stays positive. Then bring down everything else. You have a negative 2, the equals, and a positive 6. Now it's time to get the constants on the right. We need to get rid of the negative 2, so the inverse operation is to add 2 to both sides. That cancels out the minus 2 and leaves you with 2n equals, we have a positive 6 and a positive 2. They're same signs, so you add and keep. 6 plus 2 is 8, and we keep the positive. Now we need to get the variable by itself by getting rid of the positive 2 in front of it. We'll divide by positive 2 on both sides. That cancels out the 2 and leaves you with n equals a positive divided by a positive is a positive, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So your answer is n equals 4. Number 3, 4 times the quantity of 2x plus 1 equals 3x minus 6. You do have parentheses, so you do need to distribute. So I will do circle, square, circle, square. We're going to share the 4, so that is going to go into the circles. Then you bring down the 2x and a positive 1. 4 times 2x is a positive 8x. Then you have a positive times a positive, so your answer is positive, and 4 times 1 is 4. Bring down everything else equals 3x minus 6. Now you have an 8x and a 4 on one side. They are not like terms, so you don't combine them, and a 3x and a minus 6 on the other side, and you don't need to combine those because they are different terms. We do need to get the variable on the left, so we want to get rid of the positive 3x. To do that, we're going to do the inverse operation by subtracting 3x. That cancels out the 3x. You now have 8x minus 3x, which is 5x, bring down the rest, plus 4 equals a negative 6. Now we need to get the constant on the right, so the inverse operation of adding 4 is to subtract 4 from both sides. That cancels out the plus 4 and leaves you with 5x equals, you have a negative 6 and a negative 4, they're same signs, so you add and keep. 6 plus 4 is 10, and you keep the negative sign. Now we need the variable by itself, and we have 5 being multiplied times the x, so we need to divide by 5 on both sides. That cancels out the 5 and leaves x equals, you have a negative divided by a positive, that's a negative, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Your answer is x equals negative 2. Number 4, 2x plus x plus 4 equals 6 plus 6x minus 8. There are no parentheses, so you don't need to distribute, but you can combine like terms. On the left-hand side, you have a 2x and a plus 1x. Those can be combined. 2x plus 1x is 3x, and then you can bring down the plus 4. On the other side, you have constants, a 6 and a negative 8, that can be combined. But we're first going to write our variable and bring that down, and that's a positive 6x. Now you have a positive 6 and a negative 8. They're different signs, so you subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2, and the 8 is the bigger number, so you keep the negative sign. Your new equation is 3x plus 4 equals 6x minus 2. Now it's time to get the variable onto the left, so to get rid of a positive 6x, you need to subtract 6x. 3x minus 6x, you have different signs, so you subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3x, and the 6 was the bigger number, so you keep the negative sign. Bring down everything else, you have plus 4 equals negative 2. Now we need to get the constants on the right, so we're getting rid of a plus 4 by subtracting 4. That leaves us with negative 3x equals, then you have same sign, so you add and keep. 4 plus 2 is 6, keep the negative sign. Now it's time to get rid of the negative 3 that's multiplied times the x, so you divide by a negative 3. That leaves you with x equals, you have a negative divided by a negative, that's a positive, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Your answer is x equals 2.